They will run it on 2nd and 4. And Blue breaks free past the 40 and all the way for the Texas touchdown.
After handling business in round 1 against Clemson at home, the Texas Longhorns are now right where they want to be with an upcoming matchup against Arizona State. The path to make the deep run everyone had been hoping for is right in front of them. And in this video, I want to talk about what Texas has to do to make that run. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so to start off recapping what was a pretty dominant victory against the Clemson Tigers, Clemson actually started off the scoring with the first touchdown of the game when Cade Klubnik hit Antonio Williams in the end zone on a 22-yard pass. But the Longhorns, not wanting them to get any ideas, made sure to respond quickly. Ewers hit just about everyone to drive down the field. Wisner took one 22 yards, and then he finished the job as well with a 3-yard touchdown run to tie the game up at 7. And then early on in the second quarter, Jaden Blue rushed for a 38-yard touchdown. As expected, the backfield absolutely went to work in this game. Clemson had no answer to stop the run, and the numbers were insane. And shout out to the defense as well, who forced a couple straight punts. They allowed Texas to build some very important cushion. And who do you think scored the next touchdown? If you guessed Wisner, then you were correct. Another 16-yard rushing TD, and now the Longhorns were sitting comfortably at 21-7. But you can never count out Clemson and their ability to scratch and claw their way back into a game. That's really what they did all season long after starting the season in a hole. Clemson, just before half, got into field goal range, and Nolan Hauser nailed a 32-yarder to make the score 10-21. But Texas, with only 93 seconds left, drove down the field, and Quinn Ewers tossed a 19-yard touchdown to Gunnar Helm to put Texas up 18 heading into the locker room. In the second half, Clemson came out of the locker room with a lot of energy and fight. They were not going to let their season end like that. And Cade Klubnik hit Jarvis Green for a 25-yard touchdown to make it a 2-possession game. And then at the start of the fourth, TJ Moore caught a 7-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden it was a 1-score game. But that is when Jaden Blue said not today and broke one loose for a 77-yard touchdown. This was the nail in the coffin. And it capped off how things were going for the Clemson defense. They just couldn't stop the run. The Clemson offense did try to do what they could with the little time they had left, but it just wasn't enough. And now Texas is heading to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl to take on Arizona State in a game where they are the heavy favorites. Normally in big games, as a fan, you're a little nervous or have some anxiety, but I just don't sense any of that from anyone. And not in a bad way. I still think the Longhorns will be super locked in for this game, and they will dominate from start to finish. I know Arizona State and the fan base is going to come into this game with a lot of energy. They probably have along the lines of the mindset of what Tennessee fans had, like, hell yeah, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna beat up on Texas. Tennessee had plans to checker the horseshoe. It didn't work out for them, but coming into this season, Arizona State was projected to finish second to last in the Big 12, but now they are in the playoffs. For them, this has been a season of overcoming impossible odds, and they aren't looking to stop now. Texas is favored by 13.5. That's a huge spread. Texas really has been a juggernaut this season in terms of running the ball, and once again, in a game like this where talent-wise they are outmatching their opponent, running the ball is how you avoid big upsets. Really, the only way to choke and lose games like this is by being way too aggressive and not executing. If Clemson could not figure out how to stop the run to save their lives, I don't think Arizona State is going to have a much easier time. But I do think Quinn Ewers is going to have to make a few throws in this game. I think they will be easy throws because AZ State is going to sell out and stack the box. I really feel like Arizona State's mindset is going to be to focus all their energy on stopping the run and not getting beat that way. Almost like a, if you're going to beat us, it's going to be through the air mindset. So as I talk about with Ohio State all the time, it might be best to take a few short passes early on to open up the offense, keep the defense off balance, and then set up the run from there. Because the holes will open up in a hurry if the Longhorns offense is attacking in all areas. The reason why I have so much confidence in Texas despite not having a strong regular season resume is not only because of the running game, it's because they have 2 top-tier quarterbacks that both will be taken in the draft lottery. And if Ewers in any of these upcoming games comes out and struggles early, ability, Steve Sarkisian will be quick to give the other guy a few looks to see if something is there. And I really don't sense any jealousy between the two guys. Obviously, they both want as much success for themselves as possible, but they also do genuinely want to see the best for each other. I think it's been a good competitive balance, and credit to Arch Manning for staying put in a world where guys are constantly on the move for the instant satisfaction. Manning was willing to sit back and get some experience, albeit I know he was getting paid millions, so he was chilling, but still, I feel like staying put is gonna end up paying off in a big way. We'll see if Texas shows up the rest of these playoffs, but the maturity this team has and the traits they have really do correlate with a team that can win a national championship. We've seen them handle adversity many times. In the Clemson game, they lost their leader up front in Jake Majors and continued to win in the trenches, and when Wisner went down, Jaden Blue broke that run loose to seal the game. Everyone just steps up for each other. It's not everything, but it's a non-negotiable when it comes to winning in the college football playoffs. I think them coming up short and going through failure last season matters. And when I predicted Texas to win it all in one of my earlier videos, everyone dogged me for it. But now it is looking like it has a chance to come to fruition. Obviously, I know there is still a lot that has to unfold and we are still super early into the tournament, but when you're looking at the teams left and the path that each team has to go through, why not Texas, man? I'm feeling pretty confident in them. And let's talk about Steve Sarkisian, because he really has been building this program up over the last 3 or 4 years to get to this moment. I know he has had his doubters and people have said all kinds of things about him, but that pretty much holds true for every coach at every level. He never really bended to the outside noise and he just stayed focused on his process. And we'll see how much it can really pay off over these next few weeks. Obviously, round 3 will be the toughest matchup for the Longhorns no matter what. Oregon and Ohio State to me are the two most talented teams in the tournament, but they are playing each other head on this week. All hands are going to be on deck for that game, and that may play to the Longhorns' advantage. But don't just take my words for all of this. Let's see what some other people have had to say.
The Peach Bowl is set with Texas set to face Arizona State in a game that I think can be as lopsided as the one we saw against Clemson, but also has the hottest team in the sport, I think, this side of Oregon, and one of the best tailbacks in the sport, I think, this side of Ashton Janty. It ought to be an entertaining game, but it's probably going to go the way you think.
Yeah, I think their front seven is a really good group. I think they're very physical. They're very long. They're very talented as well. Just off of the depth chart, you have like 6'4", 6'6", like all across the board, And so the offensive line never really stepped down from a challenge, but at the same time, they're physical and we're physical. So, the whole emphasis of this week is to match physicality with physicality.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.